Hello everyone, welcome to another episode from TCG 353. I'm Jamie, welcome back. Today we're playing a Red Purple Luffy deck that is really a lot of fun, very strong, and centers around Gear 5 Luffy to close out games and use the leader ability to full effect. These are some of the most fun games I've had in a very long time. They're very much down to the wire. So without further ado, let's get into it. Our first game is against Purple Enel. You see they play out the Ohm on their first turn and they play out the Holy to match. They can play out the Holy and the Ohm unless they have an L-Tor and swing 6 into us, so they swing 5. And that does nothing for us. You see we also run Holy because we have a little bit of a Porsche package in this deck. Because Luffy does Dom manipulation so well, it's sort of good to have the Porsche in this deck. And also you can see here we're running that chopper blocker. Took a bit of a risk playing it out because of course our opponent is running L-Tor, so they could KO that quite easily. We were fortunate enough they didn't have it in hand. They swung 8 into us and we took the block. We were tempted to use a Mamaragan there to draw a card, but we'd rather just keep it in hand. Play out the Bond Clay to ramp 1 and then use leader ability to ramp another. So now we're sitting at 9 down on turn 3. Very, very fortunate, and we, rather than swinging massive into them, we choose to build our board. So our opponent now chose to take that, which is fair enough. They were probably low in hand size. They could have taken the free block, but didn't opt to do so. And their next turn now they play out the Sanji, 3 cost obviously because they're lower down than us, and play out the Pudding Searcher to draw an L-Tor, which is scary. No doubt it's scary. They freeze the Mamaragan and freeze the Holy and start swinging a Holy of their own. First they start with a 6 into us. You see our hand is pretty bricky. So what we do here is we use the Gum Gum Giant on the Holy swing, so we're not going to take the 2 life. Draw into another Gum Gum Giant. We're on 7 down now, so with our leader ability we can go back up to 10 if we choose to do so. But it just depends on how we want to survive this next turn. We have the Bond Clay, which can become a 10k, which is very strong this turn, and rather than going for the 10 cost this turn, we choose to use the Kid to be a little bit more aggressive into their life and to take out their board. So we swing 9 into their Holy, swing 10 into their life, and they take that. So now our board is actually quite strong. It's quite competitive against theirs because they essentially only have 3 swingers. They play another Enel blocker, trash a Gamma Knife, swing 2 into our Bond Clay, which is gone. We're not going to protect that, of course. We have 1 down up for a Gum Gum Giant, and we have Mamaragans in hand. And our hand is pretty decent on counter. As you can see here, we're able to give it a 1k when they swing into 6. They choose to swing 14 into our life, and we get a trigger from effect that isn't relevant because we're on 10 down. So now we have a few choices to make. We choose to first swing 8 at their leader and buffer Luffy by 1 and take the Don back with our leader ability and play out the 10 cost Luffy. When I rewatched this, maybe that was a bit of a misplay there, that we could have swung 1 into the Ohm a bit more, but also just saved her, not used the 7k ability there and saved it. We choose not to swing into their life there because they could just block out of it, which is another little misplay, because with the Luffy effect, when they restand that, they would, or when we go for another turn, and if they took the free block there, they'd actually have no blocker up and we could go for board. That's what we decided to do in the end. We go for board here just to get their hand size down, because if we go for life, then they're going to take and have an extra card in hand, which would go against us. So now they start their big offense against us. Our Mamaragan is online now, so we Mamaragan the first 6k swing. Our opponent uses Satori and takes away the attached on, which was a bit of a misplay from them, absolutely. They swing 11 into us. We use our Gum Gum Giant, trash the brick from hand, and use a 2k. They swing 10 into us. We use Mamaragan twice. We draw a 2k and a 3k event. They are now going to swing 10 into us. We have the counter for that. If anything, we over countered here, which wasn't really necessary. I think we were going for some style points, I'm not too sure. And now on the crackback, we swing 9 into them, ... They take, so we're happy enough to swing the 12 and hope that we can get the game, and we do. You can see our opponent, when we swung initially, had 3k in hand, And then the last life was a Satori, which was only 1k, so our 9k was safe, and the 12k of course went through. Our opponent probably messed up a little bit in the way they put about Don in the end. They should have just swung really, really big with 3 swingers rather than little bits with the Ohm, but I guess they were trying to tease out the Gum Giant from us early with the small 6k swings, which is totally a valid strategy. Good games to our opponent. Let's go into the next game. Hope you enjoyed that last one though, that was awesome. We're against Red Yellow Bonney here. Our opponent chooses to go first. We choose to go second. We never really have anything to play on our first turn unless we want to use Kobe for the removal protection, but on our second turn is when we really start. So we use the Porsche -1 Don, and we play out Zoro, who when attacking you add an active Don to your deck, so essentially this Porsche is free and we were able to cheat out a body with it, which is very strong. The Porsche combos with this Red Purple Luffy deck is really cool as well. Like, we have the Chopper, we have the Zoro, we have the Bon Clay, and we have the Holy to cheat out, so Porsche is really strong in this deck. Although it is a brick and maybe you could do something different, we really rate it. And you see here we are on our third turn and we have 9 Don on the board. We could go for 10 as well, but we're going to consider that a little bit more. Yeah, we choose to keep the Zoro standing just to save it for future turns if we do want to swing bigger. We don't want 2 bodies removed this turn at all. They swing into our Porsche and we give them Gum Giant for that, because next we can go back up to 10 Don next turn, so it doesn't matter too much to us. And having the bodies on board is actually quite nice as well, so we protect it again. And now we have the option to either ramp and use the Doflamingo to freeze 2 of their bodies, or we can use the Zoro. So that's what we're thinking about here. Our opponent on their previous turn played on the Kuma to heal 1 life. So they do have 2 bodies on board. If we swing into the Kuma, they get a life off of us, so we probably won't do that. The Kuma is only a 7k stat line, so we can't actually swing into it effectively. We don't give them value for their leader ability. So say if we swung into them next, or we swung into them here like a bunch, they could get down to Borsellino, and this was a little bit of a misplay, I think, in swinging the 5 into them. Starving them out would have been a little bit better, but since we swung once, we said let's just swing twice. We know they have the secret rare Luffy in hand, which is a scary enough card, and they could play it out and become a 9k leader next turn. But if they played that, like, our Bon Clay is pretty strong, they're 100% going to clear board this turn. We can't really protect that Bon Clay, and our leader's at 8k, so our leader's currently the hardest body on board to take down. So we'll see what the Red Yellow Bonney wants to do here. As you know, as I said, they choose to swing into board, and now they have very strong board control, but we do have that Doflamingo. Our opponent chooses to go aggressive into us, which is fair enough. And now with the board state, we can only freeze 2 things, and with the counter in hand, we don't feel confident enough to be able to survive the crackback. We could attach a Don, use Divine Departure, and set down a blocker, so we could take out maybe 2 bodies, but they would still have 2 swings next turn, and our hand isn't good on counter at all. We have 2k counter, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to check the math and see what it takes for us to go for game. Because they are 7k as well, it is a bit more difficult. So we'll see how it works out here. Because being a 6k leader, or lethal with leader, is actually quite strong. So we're asking for 3 2ks from our opponent, or 2 2ks and 2 1ks. They don't have the counter, they're clearly bricked up, so they just throw the counter at us, and on their last life they actually pull into the 2k that they needed. Unfortunate for them, fortunate for us. It was a good game to our opponent. We did have the option to Doflamingo the turn before, and maybe we could have Doflamingo the turn before to save our life a bit more, and then character rush into their bodies to control the board differently, so the board state would have looked different. Also, our lethal then the next turn probably would have been stronger. So that is something to consider, I guess. But us being able to become an AK leader dissuaded them from swinging into us, which also benefited us. So good game. And let's go into the next one. Is against Purple Doflamingo, who I believe is a serious threat in this meta, and a very fun deck to play. They swing 6 into us to start it off. We give them 1k counter. We do give them the bond play, as you notice there. The reason for it is we're going to gain 2 active Don with our ability, with that Big Mom event. Our opponent thinks on this quite a long time, like, yeah, redirecting the Dellinger is the only real play to make there, unless you want to save it for next turn, which I wouldn't rate either. We choose to play the Holy down here rather than ramping. The reason for it is that our opponent is going to ramp next turn anyway and probably play 6k. So what we can do is use the event, get 2 active Dawn, and then use the chopper we can use the chopper first, gain a rested Dawn, use the event, gain 2 active Dawn, and then use leader ability so we can go up to 10. That being said, we pulled into the port, so minusing 1 to gain a body is actually beneficial to us. So we'll see what way it turns, but the way you can manipulate Dawn with this Luffy deck is very, very strong. There was no need for us to, like, the chopper isn't going to give us value here. In terms of Dawn, it'll just help us a lot with being a blocker. So we swing 6 into their life, they take, which is quite good to know, and then we swing 7, asking for 2 and a 1. Our opponent's hand must be bricked up, or else they didn't want to give us counter. Also, for them, both of their bodies on board, if they minus and redirect into their life, they only minus Dawn, so maybe they didn't want to give up this Doflamingo A cost on curve, which is fair enough as well. It is a really, really strong card, and you can see our opponent was able to pull into the Virgo from it. They don't swing with the Pika. They obviously value the gaining an active on every turn. Maybe a slight misplay here. We could have swung big with the Holy at the start here, just to get cards out of hand, or to force them to use leader ability. Since we swung first with leader, then it doesn't really matter too much what the Holy swinging anymore, because it's not going to be a double attack. Our hand is actually very strong, and our opponent can't really break through and take us out next turn, so we're okay with just spreading out our Dawn and swinging into their board. The next swing that we should make would be a 9k swing, so that they can't get off free leader ability. And that's what we'll do. We swing 9. We are confident that we can survive. I mean, they have 4 swings, we're a 6k leader. Fair enough, our hand only has 1k counter, but we have a blocker as well, and we know that Doflamingo doesn't run removal to be able to get rid of it, so we are safe. Unless they attach sugar. You can't hope for everything. So yeah, our opponent now uses their Doflamingo ability, and they rest 2 of our characters, so we can't actually block this turn. They swing 6, we take. They swing 7, we take. The 6 was the only one we could have countered out of. We have not enough counter, or we have the Mamaragan, I guess. We take this. We don't use the trigger because it does nothing for us. And now we are considering whether we should freeze 3 of their bodies, or whether we should go for game with this Luffy. We go for game. It's just such a stylish way to close out games that it's fun to use. It's one of my favorite cards in the game, to be honest. Our opponent doesn't use the leader ability here. Now, I don't know what way it would work out with the way our Luffy ability works, or with the way the Doflamingo ability works. If they redirect it here and we start the turn again, would that mean then that they couldn't redirect next turn? I'm not sure. So maybe they were thinking that. But either way, we swing 12 first, and okay, maybe we should have swung 10 first, but we're swinging 12 first here because we want to know whether we should try and set up next turn to be defensive. Like we have a Mamarag, and we have Gum Gum Giant, and we have a blocker. All that being said, we swing 12, they redirect into Sugar to save the life, which is cool, and we swing 10, and they have 10k counter, they don't have 11, and we get the game. When you win with this Gear 5 Luffy, it feels so cool. Mamaragan works really, really well with it on defense, so you can pivot defensively, and if you survive a defensive crackback from your opponent with a Gear 5 Luffy on the board, you will most likely win then afterwards. Mamaragan and Gum Gum Giant are a very strong combination together in those stages. So our opponent played a good game, GG's to them, and let's get into the next one against a fellow Red Purple deck who ramps a bunch and becomes a very powerful leader just like us, so we'll see who has it in them. The key difference between our decks here is that we have Gum Gum Giant and they don't. Granted, we don't see it in hand, but we do have the Mamaragan in hand, which is going to be useful for us. We get the trigger effects we gain active Don, so we've already ramped one. So now we're on 5 Don, our Mamaragan is still active, so we'll want to use it next turn. And we have options here. We can use the Holy to set down for a strong and aggressive next turn, or we can set down the Zorojoro. Either way, we're going to be using 3 Dons, so we swing 8 first and see what they do. Our opponent has 1 Don standing, so I guess they do have an event in hand if they want to use. They do want to use it, which I wouldn't recommend, to be honest. Going down 2 cards in hand as Red Purple Roger seems a bit much. We do choose to use the Zorojoro actually. Maybe the Holy would have been better in this instance because they have such a small hand size. So, hindsight. But I think we'll eventually use that anyway. We swing 7 into them. We then swing, 7 again. And set down the blocker. We set down the blocker so our opponent gives us 2k and a 1k. We set down the blocker so that we can protect our Zorojoro because it's still a swing into them, which is going to be useful. Our hand is pretty strong defensively actually. We have Divine Departure and 2 2ks. We'll give them the block first, and then we will let them swing 6 into our 4, which we can counter out of. If they swung 7 there, we would let that go, okay? For sure, because we just wouldn't have had it really to do. Now, I think the right move here is swinging massive with Holy, and then pepper, and then using smaller swings. So when the smaller swings, it's just a quick 5. That's kind of what we kept it on the board, is to just check that they have counter. They give us the 3k event, so I guess they, no matter what, couldn't have got out of a big Holy swing, which is fair enough. Our opponent, or we then play down the Bankley and swing 8 with the Holy, so we're after taking 3 life now. It's turn 5. Our opponent is 7k granted, but they haven't been they're not able to do crazy Roger things at the moment. Our opponent chooses to clear board and attach a bunch of onto their characters. We only have 2 cards in hand, so I guess it's fair enough, but maybe not exactly something I would have done. We pull into the Gum Gum Giant from top deck, so we're feeling pretty comfortable. We swing 11 into their leader. They give us 3 2ks, and we are now thinking of pivoting defensively and putting down a blocker and keeping the Gum Gum Giant, keeping Don up for the Gum Gum Giant, and that's what we'll do. They gave us so much cards there last turn that there's nothing really that they can do about that swing there, that 9k swing. We did put down the chopper blocker, and they choose to use the Goldie Roger Rush card, which is fair enough. Of course they would. We actually have a really nice counter here, so taking the rush was fine at the start. And we Gum Gum Giant to 6, which is a bit crazy, but we're fine because the 7 is something that we can also counter out of with Divine Departure. So well done to our opponent. That was a good game. Maybe they should have sequenced it a bit different, that's all. And you see that they swing 2 into our Bankley with their Searcher, and we give them the block on that. Completely forgot that Roger was on the field. So we did take the loss there, but we had the win on the crack pack. We had 10 on to put on our leader to swing 16, and I think they had 2k counter in hand, maybe 3. So yeah, we would have won, but just kind of slipped up at the end, So now we're going into our last game against Red Blue Lucy. I grinded a good bit to look for these Red Blue gameplays. I was trying to get some Ace games and I was trying to get some Lucy games, and this is the best game that I was able to get because it's very fun. I won't say too much. We start on the turn 1, which probably helps because Lucy likes that on curve. We use Porsche into Holy, which is a very strong combination. We are down to 2 Dons, so our ramping isn't very strong so far, but we do have the chopper in hand to ramp back up next turn. and then we'll go to 7 Don and have the kid ability, then we'll be able to put things in action. So it's a bit of a slower gameplay here. We'll see what we want to do. We swing 6 first, and we are going to swing 7 with leader. The idea then is to keep Holy standing, because we don't really want them to swing back into Holy. Fair enough, they could Barry Pistol or they can do some sort of stuff, but if we swing with Holy, they will block out of it, and Holy just being on the board is enough of a threat for them to not want to, for example, there, use that Rebecca blocker. So we got a life out of them when normally they probably just would have blocked or given us counter. We played down the chopper, we used the chopper blocker there to protect our Porsche, and now we are going to play down the kid, become a 7k lead and swing 7. Our opponent is now on 1 life for a 7k leader, and they can swing freely into the Porsche if they'd like to. They can also fire fist the kid if they'd like to as well. That's okay, because we just drew into our 10 cost Luffy, so we're actually feeling quite confident here. Our opponent swings 8 into 5, they can have. They swing 8 into 6, they can also have that. And now it's a case of whether we want to stay up, or we're only on our 8 on, sorry. So I think playing out the Rosinante and drawing 2 is the best line we have here. And we can swing with Holy, or we can leave Dom up, or play the blocker. We do have options, so our opponent actually just gives us a counter straight away, which is good. I think having the Holy on board, it hasn't swung yet, but it is such a threat. Not really anymore now, that being said, because our opponent actually is only on 1 life. The double attack isn't active anymore, but still this whole game they had to play around the idea that Holy could swing. So it's very, very good in this deck. We can play it out with Porsche as well. And oftentimes we have little to do in the mid game, so we have the option to swing huge. Opponent swings 8 into our 6. We have 3 down up, we have a Mamaragan, and we have a Gum Gum Giant. We take the 8 though. And our opponent passes 3 down up. I'd imagine they have the minus events. What we're doing here now, instead of using the 10 cost, we know we can't break through if we use it, because they have so many 9Ks. So we played the Zoro this turn to become an AK leader. We character rush into the Boa, and there's nothing, and they have to give us counter for that. They could block and counter, to be fair, but they choose not to. And we are in a bit of a spot here that we can't swing 10, because 1, they might activate Goldie Roger, and 2, we need Gum Gum Giant next turn, and in fact we need 2, or we'd like to at the very least. So that's sort of the reasoning there, that we didn't swing with our leader. We could have swung into the Boa, to be fair, but they would have just blocked out of it. So there was no point. We kept their leader standing, and now we're AK leader. Our opponent is cycling through their deck. They drew 2 cards with the Dressrosa event, and they used ability, so drew 3 cards, and then they used the Memento, so drew 2, trashed 1, played out a Barto who can use a Dressrosa event, and they used the minus 3k event to hurt our Zoro a little bit. Now we have the option here to block this, or we can Gum Gum Giant this. We choose the Gum Gum Giant here because we choose the blocker, my bad. We choose the blocker, and the reason is that we want them to think that we don't have counter in hand to be able to protect the Zoro, because we want them to turn their blockers down. You see, we drew into another Gum Gum Giant, but we actually can't use it because we want to go 10 down next turn. So that's what we're going to do. I think that is the line that we win the game by. Looking to see what else could be done maybe, but no. It seems kind of unlikely that we'd be able to get another Gum Gum Giant. Swing 6 into our leader. They give us 2k. We swing 9 into their leader, and they give us that. So maybe their hand is actually totally bricked up. I'm not too sure. And fortunately, they do take that block. If they took the life there, maybe it was a different story. So now we are looking at how we're going to go for this end game. We swing 12 into their 8. So now they only have 3 bodies to swing on board, and we swing 7 into their life. They can just block out of this if they'd like to, but they don't. They choose to take the life to see what they can get from hand. Maybe they get a Fire Fist, and if they Fire Fisted the Luffy, then they could prolong the game a little while longer. They clearly don't, because they attach 4 to their Bartle and swing 10 into us. And now we're just thinking, how can we survive here? Is it wise to take this? It's not, because if they attach 6 onto the Sabo, we'd be crossing our fingers that we get something nice from Mamaragan. Whereas the way we're doing it now is we're pretty safe. We're pretty safe because the 2Ks we have in hand, like we have AK counter and we're going to draw a card, and we also have 1 life left. Us giving counter here is the smart move to make 100%, because the Lucy isn't just going to swing 10, they're going to swing 10 plus the events they have in hand. And you see they don't have events in hand because they don't trash them, or maybe they don't trash them to defend, I'm not too sure. But really strong defense again with the combination of Mamaragan and Gumpum Giant. It's really like your opponent can't expect to be able to know that you have that in hand, or like that much counter when you have such little Dawn, and usually you're facing against a massive board. But being able to draw with the Mamaragan, with the Gumpum Giant being able to draw again, it makes your defense very strong, and you're a 6k leader. So good game to our opponent. That was a great way to close out the video, to show the Gear 5 Luffy into the incredible defense that Red Purple Luffy has. When you're on the back foot as well, like your opponent is incentivized to go for game when you're like 2 Dawn standing, 0 life. Of course they are, but you're able to defend out of these situations. Like you can see our hand size there. We have a lot of counter, only 1 brick in hand there. So good game to our opponent. Hope you enjoyed these games today. They were a lot of fun. I really like playing this Red Purple Luffy list. And I hope you enjoyed watching the games. The Purple Enel game for me was so cool. And also this Red Blue Lucy, I tried to start and finish with 2 of my favourite games. But the games in between just showed the strength of the deck itself. And how you're able to use power on your leader to control, and how in the early game you can flood the board with this Porsche. Thanks very much for watching. If you like these videos, then make sure to leave a like. If you want to talk in the comments, make sure to leave a comment. I pretty much comment back to everyone. I love talking to you guys in the chat. And if you want to watch more of me, make sure to subscribe. I am actually posting every day, and I have posted every day since I've started this, and I plan on keeping that up. So without talking too much, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.